everyone. Welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. I'm Denise, and this is Ron. I know you guys all know us, but Carl is live on another show right now, and he will join us as soon as he can. So if you're on the Bill of Rights Network, you can just click over there and see what's going on with Flex the Truth. So otherwise, you've got us. And so we don't have a lot to tell you, just other than we're going to keep in mind that, I haven't even got the comments up yet. Hi, Nigel, and thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. So we're going to tell you guys about our weather a little bit. We are not going to see any rain, no wind, nothing from the hurricane. Here in Milton, we are not going to see Milton. Okay, so keep that in mind. We are safe and sound. But again, I'm going to ask for all of you guys to pray for everybody in Florida that's in the path of this huge hurricane that's now back to a Category 5. It's, I'm very worried about our family down there. So
hello, Susan and Mike.
Please keep those prayers going. It's really big deal. It needs to go further south. I'd like for it to go completely away, but it ain't going to happen, but it needs to go south. So other than that, I'm going to let you guys know that we have a guest tonight, and our guest tonight is a psychic. So get ready. There. So his name is Chris Garcia. So I'm going to bring him up. Welcome, Chris, to the Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. And you got 2/3 of the hosts with you tonight so far.
Well, I don't know I'm looking at the comments because I know Jeremy. I haven't seen him. But I know just how everyone for the ones that do know me and for the ones that don't know me, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I love doing what I do. Psychic medium. I also a shaman, connect with shaman stuff. I like working with adults and children. I've done missing cases, local and out of state. I've done readings behind the scenes. I've gotten a lot of feedback. If you guys look at me and check me out on my feed, you get a lot of testimonies on there. But yeah, I've done a lot of stuff, and this year's been kind of interesting. Like I was telling Denise and Ron that I've gone through a lot. And I'm still hanging on strong, doing my thing, and keeping myself busy and optimistic about things. But I just love what I do, and I also do missing cases too. Paranormal walkthroughs, I've done that on live on TikTok also. I've helped a lot of people, so I don't know what kind of questions y'all have. If anybody has any questions in the comments, you're more likely to ask me.
We'll make sure that we ask every question.
Hi to my mom and Gary.
And Susan and Mike and Dara and everybody out there. And if you guys have any questions for Chris that I don't ask, please put them in the chat and I will ask those questions. So Chris, when did you find out that you had abilities?
Since I was like 5, but it was more like when I was by myself. But as far as like in middle school is when people started talking to me. I think it was like when they started talking to me very young, and it was weird because a lot of people already knew who I was, but I didn't know them. I guess people talk in school, you know how that works when you're in middle school. And I was always tested with my abilities at that time. I was probably, I think 13, 12. But I've always known my abilities younger, between 5 and 7. But I'm just talking about when people out in the public started, seeing me, was in middle school. And then it became strong in high school. Then after high school, it's been like to where I've helped a lot of people since Facebook came out. That's how long I've been on. But yeah, I've done a lot of different things to very different channels and stuff like that. So but you never know what kind of conversations, what kind of things I pick up. I pick up weird stuff, but there's times where I've had premonitions, and had premonitions, and usually most of the time, 9 out of 10, they have to do with clients or people that I'm about to read. And like Ron and Denise, about what happened to me recently, and that's keeping me strong. And like you said, Ron, it's been passed on to me, and I feel like it's increased since I've been on, and it's just opened me up, and it's taught me to appreciate my gifts even more. Not so much to helping people, yes, but it's gotten me on my aspect of helping people and getting to look to see on the other side of the table that when you lose somebody you love, you have a different perspective on mediumship. You have a different perspective in channeling, um, and stuff of that nature. But I can say that I've appreciated um, my journey and still helping people, and I'm hoping to travel. I actually want to go to San Francisco because I've been drawn to Alcatraz. That's one of my other places. Uh, One recent place I just went to with my fiance, we went to the Black Swan here in San Antonio. A lot of
Mhm.
you that travel would know about that location. It's amazing just going in there. I'm actually gonna go back sometime. I think not this week, but the following week. I'm gonna probably do like there's probably gonna be vendors and stuff. So if any of you gonna be there, you might get a chance to see me if you're within the area. But I do want to travel till I'm San Francisco. That's one of my places. My fiance wants to travel to Roosevelt Hotel over there in California. So we're
Mhm.
trying to like whatever happens from now till then. We won't travel right away, but we've talked about it, and she's willing to go down with me, even to the Kentucky, that big building. I forgot the name of that building.
The Octagon
Um,
Hall.
oh no, not that
No, the
one.
big one.
The big
Oh,
one.
oh, Waverly
Yeah,
Hills.
Waverly Hills.
Yeah, I wanna hit
Waverly, yeah.
that place up. I've been drawn to that one too. But
Well,
there's
that's good
places that
because heads up, Ron's been drawn to a building in Louisville too, Churchill Downs.
yeah, but it's just amazing that I want to hit these places up, and it's just to test my abilities there. And if nobody talks to me, it's fine. It's to me, I just like to explore and just the paranormal and have respect and stuff like that. And hi Carl, nice to meet you. By the way, I don't like to
Hi,
be rude,
Chris.
not to say, but yeah, but that's when I started having to notice about my abilities was when I was like in middle school, and it's been just crazy since then.
Do you have any siblings, and do they have any abilities?
That's the thing. I don't have siblings, but I do have cousins. I say that I'm probably more of the only one that exposed the family's gifts. My mom had it, my grandma had it. I believe some of my cousins have it, but I just feel like they haven't really came out of it yet. But I can feel like when there's another psychic person, because I know the signs and how they act and what they do.
Hmm.
Because I did a lot of things that a lot of my cousins did, like to collect rocks. I started collecting rocks at the age of 4. I don't even know what happened. I was always into astrology at a very young age. Um, I was drawn to I remember, do y'all remember the light bugs? Do you remember the light bugs? The ones that have the
Yeah,
light? Well,
yeah.
when I was little, me and a few friends were talking about it, and we're thinking, damn, when we were little, we would see all these little lights flying, and I used to get them in the jar and just, I was, I guess, fascinated by them. And there's a few times where me and a few friends in old groups that we used to talk, they're like, now that we look back and that we're older, what do you think those light bugs were? And you know what? Somebody asked me, they're like, what do you feel those were? And you know what I told them? Fairies. That's what I felt. Now that I'm older and I perceive stuff as remember childhood and stuff, if you can think back of how they used to light up in the back,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
those were fairies that we were actually talking with when we were growing up. I don't know if any of you remember those light bugs, but I
Oh,
do.
Oh yeah.
we have lightning bugs all over the place
Oh, yeah,
here.
we do too up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things,
Not as easy to catch as you think.
Oh, not anymore either. It's funny.
no, no, I tried teaching the grandkids how to catch them, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah,
So
it's not easy, and that's just something that that you would think that it would be easy to do, but
Yeah.
you can't get them. They're just too fast, and being able. Sorry, I'm actually sharing the show, so if I'm looking up, it's because I'm sharing it on Messenger. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, but yeah, it's been just an interesting journey and still learning a lot of different things. So whatever guys you want to talk about, I'm
Do you?
down for the Bigfoot. I'm down for the aliens. I'm down for the.
Okay.
Um,
We'll
I
we'll
mean,
probably talk about all of it.
and
Do
I'm
you do
even
a lot
down
of
to.
investigations?
I've done some like logo, but I've never done them on live. I've done them behind the scenes, but that's one thing that's good that you asked me that because I do want to do one where I have to find someone I can trust to do this, and maybe it's just gonna be my fiance. I don't know yet, but what I'm thinking that what I want to do is have like a live to where somebody can record me and to test my abilities and going to a location and having it on Facebook or TikTok, whatever the case may be at that particular time, and expose what I'm feeling, and then whoever knows the history of the location or whatever the case may be to give me validation at the end of the reading. But I've done some investigations local, and then I've done a few like on live, but they would have to like rotate the camera, and I told them what rooms to go to. There's a lot of
So
people
you
that
did a
I've
remote
Right.
investigation.
yeah, I've done
Or
that with I don't know, do y'all remember I forgot his name. Y'all know KD?
yeah,
Go
The
ahead.
JD
scientist?
Stafford.
yeah. We used to
Yeah.
Yeah.
we all lived by each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I we did him and his wife Kat. I think Kat,
Katie,
Katie.
Katie.
Yeah, me we
JD.
all they know
Yeah.
me too. I've done a few investigations with them on live.
Oh, wow.
Uh so you can ask them and they'll tell you. And then there's other investigations that with other people that they were like they bring Chris on and see what he feels. And there's times where I've done them where I felt like people have tested me. And every single time that I've done lives, like I love to do that kind of stuff because it's challenging for me. I love that kind of stuff. But probably in the near future, hopefully this coming year or going into next year, you'll probably see me with someone recording me, and then you might get to see the person that's recording and working together as a little paranormal team. So
Well, hope to see that.
I know that's the thing. I want to travel too. I really do. There's just so much to do being, who I am. And it's just there's just so much things that I cherish more, and I know that our time is limited on here, and just enjoy life and explore, the unknown, which is something I like to do. Uh, and then speaking of that, I know I'm pretty sure y'all know everybody knows each other. Do y'all know Lynn?
Which Lynn?
Lynn Dorman?
No, not
Okay,
off the
he's
No.
a
top of my
new
head.
yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I've been on his show before. We talked about the Mothman, which the Mothman, I don't know if y'all know this. Do y'all remember Jeepers Creepers?
I
Hmm.
never saw it. I'm not a horror movie person, but
I
Dee's
remember.
Neither am
probably.
I
I.
remember the show.
Yeah.
Well, I found out that a lot of the stuff that I picked up from Jeepers Creepers and Mothman, there is a connection to both of them. If you look at the design of how they look from the Mothman to Jeepers Creepers, the only thing is the colored eyes are a little different, but the
Mm.
wings are about the same. And I found out through a friend of mine that Jeepers Creepers was made prior to Mothman, but since they couldn't copyright it. They
Right.
had to change the name Mothman to not say it in Jeepers Creepers, but they actually kind of displayed Mothman in a way. But
Mm.
but it was like a human with a bat looking face. But since it was copyrighted, they couldn't do it because the the story behind the Mothman is copyrighted due to other, I guess, I don't know if it's military. I don't want to say it too loud, military or other things. Yeah, I'm sorry I said it. It just blew it out.
It
But
doesn't
there's a
matter.
lot of
This is a military station.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
we're all. Everybody on here has a is related to a veteran or was a veteran.
Yeah, but that's just the thing. Oh yeah, y'all guys, if y'all didn't know who my fiance was, Brittany's on there. She says hi. She says she
Hello.
remembers the light bugs.
Yeah.
So it's funny that she remembers the light bugs. So, but yeah,
So,
there's a lot of things that I love to talk about. So if you have
yeah.
any
So
more questions,
Gary asks, do the spirits speak to you wherever you are?
I was gonna ask
yes,
that.
yes, they have. They have had times where I feel like I'm like a magnet, so they like seek me. And then there's times where I feel like spirits usually have a way of having their the ones that are like left behind. I've had people contact me and say, "Well, feel like I needed to talk to you, get a reading from you because my dad, I feel like I got a feeling that you would connect with him or my grandma, or whatever the case." And 9 out of 10, I've had that happen before recently with everything going on
Can you
TikTok
move
as
closer
well.
to the mic? You're
Sorry,
fading again. Thank you.
sorry. It's just that I'm charging my headphones, but sorry about
I
that.
know.
But yeah, that's just something that I love to do, and yeah, was that Jeremy that asked me that question?
No, it was Gary. Is the
Oh, it was
paranormal
Gary.
pastor? His name's Gary.
Oh, hi Gary. I don't see him in the comments, but hi.
Yeah, it's because you may
Yeah, it's
not see
different.
it because it's very small.
A different comment.
So
Right.
I had a
What?
question for you, and this
Go
is
ahead.
related to something that you've already said. You said that you can tell if somebody has abilities by, I guess, by look or feel of being
Hmm.
around them. How can you tell somebody has abilities?
I guess it's just a gut feeling that I have, like the connection I talk, and then like I look at the eyes. The eyes to me are like the eye to the soul. Um, I feel like I've always been able to identify another intuitive person because I'm very intuitive, and then with everything going on with me, it's just a feeling that I have. Like for you, Denise, I don't know anything about you, but this from what I feel from you. Okay, I don't know why, but you know, but with you, I feel like you had a very, very interesting childhood. Is what I'm seeing. Okay, you were very fascinated by a lot of weird things that you encountered. Um, okay, hold on. I'm trying not to read people, but it's natural for me. Um, I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of getting like an image in my head, like a room, and I'm hearing like noises under the bed. And I felt like you would see shadows in the corner of your eyes. I do believe that this gift comes from your mom's mom. You never really labeled it, but what I feel from you is empathic.
A what?
Empathic.
Empathic.
Oh,
Empath.
okay.
An empath. And I think sometimes where the reason why I can feel this from you is because I feel like when you're around certain people that are very, I don't know if it's negative or just very, not so much negative, but you're going to be kind of like in between to where like if you feel too much, I feel like I get like tears in my eye, like you feel their pain and you just like I can't be around a lot of people, and that's where I feel like you get this anxiety feeling from you, and that's what I feel. And
So
as go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, so on the first part, the interesting childhood, yes, I agree. And yes, I do feel other people's pain. Um, and I don't know if that's just because of being a Gemini that I can see both sides of every story. I don't know, but I do that. And yes,
Are you
Tom, my
there?
face goes to be a real. I want. if Chris is going to read me, he's got to do it. He's got to do it the hard way. God damn it. Because that's the way it should be. I
And that's
shouldn't
and
give you the answers before you give me the answers.
yeah, and that's how where it's like whenever you go to the psychic, you gotta be the person where you don't gotta tell them. They should be able to read you.
Right.
That's my personal thing. Now, with me knowing that I know a lot of people and I talk to a lot of people, what I refer to people to besides me, like if I'm busy and I can't read you or what I refer other people, I don't even know why I'm even saying there's a reason why I'm being told this. That if I am too busy to read you, would I pick somebody or would I refer someone to you? Yes. But the thing with me is that I'm very specific. I'm very um I don't just choose random people, just anyone. It's got to
Right.
be someone I know that's good and that I can trust that can give you, the reading that if I'm not available at that particular time. Because there's times where I've been asked before, would you refer other psychics and how can you tell one of another psychic's around, blah blah. But there's a reason why I'm probably mentioning that because maybe somebody in the audience is probably asking or thinking about that because I know a lot of people usually seek me when it comes to things, but there's gonna be times where I'm gonna be like too busy and I'm like, okay, I refer this one person. But now if they say, you know what, we don't want nobody else but you, then I say, okay, well then we have to work the schedule because I've had that done before where people would say, no, I don't want to talk to nobody else. But then I tell them, why can't you give another person a chance? If I refer them, it's because I'm recommending them because I trust them with my heart and my soul that they're going to be as good as what I can give you. I recommend people, and it's even in the paranormal too. There's a lot of people in the paranormal that if I'm like if somebody says, well, I'm in Mississippi and I'm having paranormal uh, activity. If I know anyone within the area or
Yeah.
outside of the area but willing to travel, it's gonna be someone that I'm gonna refer to you because I can't be there.
Right.
But that's how I am. I'm the type of psychic that I don't compete with others, and and I'm not going to. There's others, yes, that are good, but I'm not gonna have people just for me. That's just not my style. I'm very humble and I'm very legit, and I'm just not gonna do that. If people are gonna say, "Well, don't pick them," blah blah blah, that's just not me. I share my wealth, and
That's just drama, you know.
That's all
And
that is.
yeah, and I tell people all the time, if you need a psychic or a medium to
Yeah,
be
they
referred,
kind of match.
I will fit them with the right one. I
yes,
won't,
Yeah.
because some people need to hear it rough and tumble, and some people need to hear it soft and slow, and
that is true.
you know
That is very
and
valid.
or it's going to be okay, and this and that. And then other people will, some people need Vanessa Hogel, the effing medium, to tell them every effing thing they need to hear. And that's just how it goes. So I understand what you're doing. When you're referring them probably based on the stuff you already know about the person.
Yes,
So, and Tom says, I don't know why, but the strongest room I feel presence is in my bathroom. I don't know why they hang out in there. It's creepy.
the only thing I know. Hi, Tom. I can see the comment. The thing is that for some reason I want to say like, why do they like it? Because they have that space, and I'm seeing like a curtain. Hold on. I don't know why I'm seeing like a light. It looks like a light greenish, and then like the wall looks kind of like an old fashioned. It's between a blue and green. I can't think of the colors because my colors aren't that all that good, but it's kind of like the old fashioned kind of green is what I'm feeling. But I feel like the reason why they like being in there is because they know that you're not going to be going to the restroom unless you're sick or something. So they like to they like to have that space where they know that you're not going to be bothering them all. That's like their turf, so to speak. Even though you go to the restroom, take a shower, but they know that you're not going to go in there much. If that makes sense, that just sounded so weird coming from me, but that's what that's what I was told.
So your bathroom is private, and they like their private time, Tom. There you
Yes,
go.
yes.
Yep.
We all like our private time, but I don't always want to spend my private time in the bathroom.
No.
So, okay, well, we asked you those questions. I know there's gonna be a ton more questions here. You have
So the investigations that you've done, do you see the spirits, or do you hear them, or both?
There's times where I can feel them and see them. It just varies on how strong they come. But there's times where I felt like where I've heard them and then be able to sense them like a sensitive. But yes, there's times where it's a little bit of both because I get the clairvoyant. I get sometimes I even get like a mixture of different gifts all at once when they come and talk to me. Then okay, what can I help you with? You know, what is the message that you need for me to talk? Do you need someone to talk to? And then there's times where I'll say, and then sometimes they'll say, well, I don't need anything. I just need a message for someone. Um, so it's kind of, that's what I feel like right at the moment. But that's what, but it varies where I'm going at the time depending on how active they are. But usually I like to test my abilities at night because you know how the night changes from the day to night. It's a different kind of atmosphere, different feeling, different vibes. So it's just I like testing myself at times. I like to test myself to a limit. So yeah.
well, Tom says that his bathroom is painted aqua.
Okay, is aqua kind of like a
Yes,
Yeah,
green?
it's the old-fashioned green.
greenish blue.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then, so that just validate what I picked up. So the thing what you can do, since they're very in the bathroom, I would always used to recommend sage, but since sometimes I've been feeling lately that the sage doesn't really do anything to the spirits,
Right.
especially that they're coming in very strong, I would get frankincense and myrrh and burn it together. But you need to ask them, is it okay if I can burn this? That's just to clear my space from yours. And if you want to do an EVP, I would say respect their space because even though that is your house, but they have their own little territory, I guess you could say. I would say just to be very careful when you try to talk to them. I wouldn't recommend provoking them. I would just talk to them like if you're talking to a friend.
It pretty much is a friend.
Yeah. So
At least I'm pretty sure, Tom. Am I right that it's your friend? You feel like it's your friend that passed. So
okay, that's weird that you say that because I didn't know any prior knowledge, but I don't know about the person's passing. But I felt like the person's passing did not die naturally. They did something they weren't supposed to. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Out of
Mhm.
respect for him.
Yeah.
so oh you said so you do readings for people. Do you have a shop or do you just do remote or phone calls, whatever? How do you do your
Right,
reading?
I usually do that. Like, well, do I have a shop? Do I have like if I could show you, but I can't turn the camera because there's due to privacy. But I have like candles up here, and then I have candles up there. I have my own oils, with for prayers and stuff. So yes, I do my own little. I guess my room is like my shop. I guess you could say. Um, but I do. I have people come over here. I usually meet them somewhere. I'll meet them halfway, or if I trust them enough, I have them come over here. Um, but as far as like how I do readings, I do them on video, Zoom, uh, Messenger, phone calls. Um, I've even done to where if you have TikTok and you have over 1,000 people, like Facebook, you have to have 5,000. Um, I'll do it like that too, where you can read. I can read people on TikTok if they cannot see my face. I can read them just by their name. I don't even know how I freaking do that. Sometimes it's weird. Um, and then there's times where I've done readings on YouTube in the past, but it varies in what how they communicate with me at that particular time.
What has you said that you do?
I don't think spirits judge, dude.
Yeah. Tom says, yes, my friend died on my couch.
Okay.
So,
That's
so,
weird.
and I thought I remembered
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah, I do remember it now. Mm-hmm.
so what was I going to say now? My brain went completely out.
You just
The
went blank,
question's
right?
gone.
That
I'm just
happens. It happens. I get it because it happens to me too. Because I'm like, what was I gonna say?
yeah. How do you turn off your abilities so that you can get rest?
That's funny. Oh my god, that's the question I've had.
Or can
People
you?
have told
Yeah,
me this. That's the thing. That's the good question. Who said if you can? Was it Carl or Ron?
Ron did.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
can you?
that's funny you asked me that because since I was young, maybe I was able to do it when I was younger. But for me, I guess I clear my mind and I stage myself and I do other different ways of, like take a shower and clear it. I visualize the water as cleansing. Okay, that's just as far as I'm gonna go. Now do I shut my gifts off? To be honest, Denise, no, I don't, and that puts me in a vulnerable spot. But I always put my sacred space that after a certain time, there's only certain people that are allowed to communicate with me. Unless if it's urgent and it's emergency spirit needs to talk to me, I'm pretty much open like a 24 psychic, open all the time. But do I ever get sleep? Since all this weird stuff happened before, prior to what I told you off the air, um, even then I had hard time sleeping, and I do. If I'm lucky, I get like 4 hours of sleep.
Mm.
Okay, and that's on the real. I don't get that much sleep, and if I do, it takes me a long time to go to sleep. Sometimes I won't go to sleep till almost 3 for some freaking reason, 4 in the morning.
because you don't shut your mind off.
I know, and I don't because my mind is
I'm the worst
just,
one at it.
and that's why. And then another reason why I think I don't shut it off is because you never know what kind of messages you're gonna get. So I keep that as a frequency to where if there's a message or a vision that's gonna come through a premonition, I'm alert even though I'm asleep. So I think that's my personal reason why I don't shut them. I know that other psychics that I look up to, like Chip Coffee, I know he chucks his gifts off only when he goes to a location or when he does his TV shows and stuff like that. But or like Amy Allen, like they used to have dead files. But them, I would think that they would shut their gifts off. But for me, I feel like you just never know what kind of messages that you'll get important. So mine are always like open most of the time.
Have you ever come in contact with somebody who said they were a psychic or a medium and they weren't?
In the
I'm not
past,
asking for names. Okay? I'm not asking for names.
I want to say probably in the past, yes, but recently, no. In the past, yes, I have.
Okay.
I have, yes.
So we know that you're in San Antonio. Ron was in the military there. That's where he went for basic training at Lackland. And that's just to put it together a little bit.
7 weeks of fun.
Yay. And
Wow.
so have you ever been to the Alamo?
Oh, yes, I have. I've done like investigations even during the day. That was like when I was in my 20s, 30s, I think. One time I went through the yard, is what I call it, the yard of the animal in the back. And I said, if you're gonna show yourself, can you do this for me? And I kid you not, Denise, my freaking digital camera just died. And they were brand new batteries. But before I took pictures and you couldn't see them like right there and then, but I did take pictures of different areas
Mhm.
of the animal. But I was able to take maybe like 2 pictures only. And then like after that, it just died. I even did that to try to communicate with my phone, and my phone just died. And I thought
Hmm.
my phone shouldn't be dying because it's fully charged. There's no freaking way that it could be doing that. I've had it happen to me where the phone just dies or my digital camera because I usually put it like on the sensitive feature where you can see images and stuff. And I've even saw one picture where this soldier was actually crawling, like you know how like when they fight in a battle. I saw him
Hmm.
crawling and he came out in the picture, but you could see his silhouette of his body, and I thought that's weird. But it didn't
Mm.
happen at night. It was during the day. So
Yeah.
yes, I've been to the Alamo.
Is it worth going to?
If you're into the paranormal, yes. If you have a sensitivity to yourself, I think you would. And by the way, Denise, if you ever want to come, there's a hotel right next door to the right. I don't remember the
Hmm.
name. I think it starts with an M. There's a hotel, and I think it's on the, I don't know what floor. I want to say random. I want to say like on the sixth floor. I don't know for sure because I don't look up histories because I like to get my own impressions about hotels. But I want to say the sixth, or it could be probably on the other floor. But there is a hotel that's haunted. There's maybe, I want to say, from what I'm feeling, because I've never been in the hotel in the hallways, but I want to say, I don't know why I'm getting like 102 and maybe like 105. I don't know why I'm getting that. That's just randomly just, yeah. Because I've never been in that hotel, even though I've been in San Antonio all my life. Uh, but that's for, I guess, tourists, so I'm not going to say no hotel because I have a home. But
Well,
I
you
would
know what?
say,
We do it. We we may live where we live, but we still stay in hotels not too far from where we live just to go check them out.
yeah, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? When you guys come in town, let me know, and maybe we can meet up one day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've never been to San Antonio. That's why I asked. I've been to Dallas, Houston, and Galveston. That's really been about it. And when I say
Mm,
I've been to Dallas, I've been through Dallas. Okay.
mm.
And one time through a really thick ice storm that was horrible with
Oh
him,
wow!
a baby, and a dog.
Oh
That was
wow!
horrible.
Yeah, I
But
mean, there's times where but San Antonio is a good place, and it's got a lot of. I want to say it's got a lot of history behind it. Um, and I do feel that if you're that type of person that likes that kind of stuff, I think you would enjoy it.
oh yeah.
Um, and I do feel that there's probably other areas too, where on certain parts of the city where it's like there's no buildings. I don't know why, but I keep seeing bones and maybe old things that were back in the cave days. I don't know why I'm getting that because I haven't been downtown in a long time, but that's what I'm
Okay.
seeing. But you just have to know where you're drawn to get these kind of articles and find them.
Yeah. You just said something that was really a links to a question that we ask people a lot of times. When you see spirits, what has been the oldest, longest time ago spirit that you've seen?
Probably like in, I want to say, probably in the 19, like maybe in this, well, actually, let me phrase that. It's probably with a long leather coat, like back in the Western and the animal times. I want to say like between the 15, 16, 1700s probably.
Okay.
So it's like way back then, way before I was even born. But yeah, I've seen silhouettes of different old like the old where they have those little flowery dresses for the females. I've
Mhm.
seen that a few times because it's very ancient downtown. It has a lot of history behind it, but it's very, very interesting that if you come to San Antonio, there's other places that are like outside of the city limits that you can go to. It's called the Devil's Bridge. I've never been there, but I'm wanting to go there. But I'm
Yeah, I've
I
heard
told
of
my
that.
cousin, yeah, that they do seance there. They've done rituals. I've heard they've
Yeah.
done rituals there, but I've never
Mm-hmm.
been there. But I'm kind of anxious to see what kind of vibe I get in that area.
Isn't that in Alton, Texas?
No,
You talking about that bridge, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to.
there's one here too that they call it the Devil's Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that other one was a goat bridge. Goat man's bridge.
And we just lost him.
lost him.
He'll be back. So
What was he charging his headsets or his phone?
yeah, he was charging his earbuds.
Okay.
So, but he talks a lot like Rick.
Yeah, Goatman's Bridge.
Yeah. He talks a lot like Rick up in yeah.
There's a Goatman's Bridge and I forgot where he's Devil's
Right.
Bridge.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, he was reminding me a lot of Rick Wade. Rick Wade
oh yeah.
talks
Oh, okay.
very like him and stuff. And hello, David, wherever you are, David. Okie dokie, we got you back.
We got you back.
Weird. I think I triggered something. That's why I was like, "What was that about?"
Well, there are a lot of triggers in the world today, and you just happen to find one.
Yeah, I think they say like it's almost like be quiet, don't be talking about that kind of stuff. I guess.
Now, do you see past live experiences that people's had?
From sometimes it varies. I've even seen my past life in Salem. I also have a past life in New Orleans. Okay, I have a real past life, and that past life of mine was in the 1700s. Okay, Salem's was probably I want to say like 13s when they were getting like hanged and stuff. But that's
That
happened
would
to
have
me.
been in the 1500s.
Yeah, or something like that. But I've had different past lives with myself and others as well. But you never know what kind of energy I get, and then sometimes I'm able to connect to loved ones' names. I've been able to do that because when I first started, I wasn't able to get names. I would just get letters, but sometimes I'll get names, stuff like that, of people that have passed and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but it's happened a few times where I've gotten like more recent where I'll get like people's name and they're like, "Oh my God, that was my grandpa's name and it was my uncle's name and stuff like that." But there's just certain things that I've done that I love to do, and then artifacts like but stuff like that. But hopefully in the near future, I do want to go to different places and explore different things and just explore my gifts in other areas for because I've always wanted to improve in different ways, even though others probably told me that I don't need to improve because I'm good at what I do. But for me, I've always believed in my heart there's always time for improvement. Always.
The minute you stop learning, that's the minute you stop living.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Nathan says you predicted the birth of his nephew Chris Garcia.
Did I really do that, Nathan?
Well, he says you did.
What he said.
So
I don't
he
remember
believes that.
that.
Take it.
I don't remember that because there's times where like I said, I've done readings.
Yeah, you get
and you just
stuff and you
forget.
don't remember it.
Yeah, because it just comes
Yeah,
from without, and then it just forget because I don't document. I've been
right.
told to like record myself, but then you have to like remember and rewind it and all that, and I don't do that. But
Actually, it's best that you don't, because that way, if somebody asks you something later on and you answer it the same, it's not because you re-listen to it, it's because it is the same.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time that a lot of times if I get a message and I give it to you, I don't always remember that I gave it to you.
That's true.
You know,
That
Yeah, you
that's
usually don't.
so that does make sense. So you're technically saying that if I can even document myself, it's better that I don't, because then if someone says, "Well, Chris predicted this," or "Chris told me this," I might not remember I said it, but you
Yep.
remember, and that's what's
that's right,
important.
because
Yeah.
the person who needed to hear it remembers it, because it's
Okay,
not yours to remember. It's not
exactly.
it's not a message for you, it's a message for him or Carl or Nathan. It wasn't your
Right.
message to keep. So you gave it as you got it and you let it go. So
Okay, okay.
makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes sense, and it kind of hits me like rock bottom. Like, and I've a few friends have told me that to record myself, but then I thought, and it was funny that you said that, because I told them, I said I do have recorder, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And they said, why? I said, because I feel like I shouldn't have to. If you paid attention to the reading, then you can come back and tell me what I said and what is validated.
Yeah.
And Nathan
Tell
just
them.
told me that, and I don't remember even telling him.
Yeah. Tell them to
But that's
record it if they want to, but you don't need to. It's not your memory.
yeah,
Right.
that makes a lot of sense.
I'd like
Makes
to
a
say
lot of
hi
sense.
to Debbie and to April. Welcome. If
Uh,
you guys have any questions at all for Chris, please put them in the chat and we will get them asked and answered. So please do that.
And
So
it's funny though, because I told you, like you and Ron, I swear I feel like I can feel like I've known you forever, but I've never really talked to you. And then Carl, does he look familiar? Even though I've never seen him before, he does look kind of familiar, but it just can't pinpoint from where. Because I've never seen any of you before, ever.
but
No.
You know a lot of the same people we do.
yeah. And the other thing, I mean, I was on Ghost Adventures and so was Ron
Well,
long
I
time
didn't
ago.
know that, you see. So I didn't
No,
know that. So,
and the other
Right.
thing, I've been doing radio shows for for 9.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
So my
okay.
name is out there. People know, I mean, if people say Denise Pridemore, people know who I
Oh yeah.
am, even though they've never met me. Like when we met Jeff Leeper a few weeks ago, he goes, I know your name. He didn't know me, but he knew my name.
Yeah. But maybe it's because because I usually used to watch a lot of paranormal, shows, but now that I think with the the packages plans like that they used to have, like I used to watch a lot of like Ghost Adventures and all this other stuff, but now I lost interest in a lot of that shows because there's
It's
some of
hard to
them that
watch.
stood.
It
Yeah, it's
is.
hard to watch. It
I'd
really
rather
is.
watch
Hey,
somebody pulling
Sandra.
teeth. I'd
Yeah,
rather watch the dentist sometimes.
and but the thing with me is that I'm gonna tell you what my shows were when I would watch paranormal stuff. One of them was The Hunting. Do you remember The Hunting on the Travel Channel?
The Haunting, yeah.
Yeah, I would watch that one, or the A Hunting, or there was one where they would I think it was on the Discovery Channel, or I can't remember the show. It has to come back to me. But The Haunting was one of my favorites. Paranormal Witness, when they used to have it, was one of
Mm.
my other shows. Now, when it ever came out to Paranormal State or Chip Coffee or Kindred Spirits with Amy and him and Adam, those are my
Mhm.
other shows. And then with Dead Files, Amy and Adam were the only ones that I would watch. Anything beyond that, I didn't watch. I mean, that was in the beginning. I did watch Ghost Adventures, but as time went on, there were just reruns, and I just got tired of watching them. But but other shows that I did watch, they had like different things where I would test myself, and before they would say it, I was like, I wonder to see if I pick up something. And they said the same thing. Maybe once or twice I got a few things right, but there's just so
The
many
question
shows that
is when you were watching those shows, like the Dead Files, on the shows where they have a psychic medium that's walking through the place, do you see the same spirits that they see?
Honestly, there was times where I picked up a little bit some stuff different,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't understand why. But there were certain things where I did see that were different, and I'm like, I would look at the tree and I'm like, there's something there. There's a male or blah blah blah, and she wouldn't say it. So I thought, is it something that I'm picking up that maybe she didn't, or maybe
That's
I was supposed.
There's a theory. There is a theory that you could have three psychics in one room
Mm-hmm.
and they all see something totally different because only this is meant for you to see, or this,
Right.
or for them to see. And that
But
is
does that?
probably the reason why you get different readings from different mediums all the time.
Oh, okay. Okay, so does that mean that if you see something that you see, does that make it that you dismiss it, and just because they didn't say it's not real?
No, because you saw it, you saw it. I mean, it's your message for you to
It was
see.
meant for you to be. It was meant for you.
Yeah, they weren't
Oh,
meant to
okay.
see it.
Okay,
So
that
it's
makes sense.
kind of like the messages that we were talking about earlier. I get a message for this person. The other medium may not get the same message for that person.
Right.
In fact, they may not
They
even
got
get a
something
message for
different.
that person. They may get it
Okay.
for their cousin as opposed to them.
Yeah, cause I've
Really
always
good.
thought that just because if say like Carl gets something right, but then they say, well, I didn't see nothing, Carl. Well, that's not for you to say. He got his evidence. That doesn't mean that his evidence is not fake. It's just that
Right.
what he heard and what he saw. You understand what I'm saying? So now you
Mhm.
guys are
Right.
making sense that if I say something and that person didn't say it, that doesn't mean that my stuff it's just because she didn't see it or he didn't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just
Right.
meant for me to see it.
Right. It's just like one of the things that we would tell people when we were on. We used to be the tour guides at the Sally House in Atchison. And
Okay.
we would tell people all the time, you have made the decision to go to a haunted location. When you made that decision to go to a haunted location, you said basically in your head that you want to see spirits. You want to talk to spirits. You want to have this activity. When you go there, the spirits that came with you may act up, and they're the ones that you're interacting with,
Yeah.
not necessarily interacting with the spirits at that location.
Mm,
So sometimes that's what you got to remember. Sometimes what you're interacting with may not be something there. It could have been something that came with you or somebody with
right.
you.
Yeah, like your guides. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense now. Now I understand what you're saying. Wow. Now that's I learned something from you. And like you said, you learn every day, and
Yep,
I truly believe that because I do feel that as long as we're here in this plane, we learn every day. You
we have
know,
to. That's the only way
and
we can stay alive.
yeah,
Right.
and the thing is that for me, you know, the way I look at things and the way I talk to you about what happened, do I believe in afterlife? Yeah, I do. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Do I believe in reincarnation? Yes, I do. Do I believe that people can come back as human? To me, I feel like you have an ultimatum. If you want to come back as a bird, you're going to come back as a bird, cardinal, whatever. You know, because I do feel that whatever, before you leave this earth, you chose your parents, you chose your house, you chose your husband, you chose your dog, everything you chose before you even were born. That's what I feel in my heart that is true. You choose the day you're going to die. You're going to choose the time you're going to die, the date you're going to die, the month you're going to die, but you just don't have a recollection of it because that's a blur. You're not able to see that.
Yeah.
Okay?
You don't
Now,
need
when
to
you
know
have
your expiration date.
Wow, our
you don't
guest just
exactly,
said the same thing
exactly.
last week.
And the thing
Mhm.
with also is that you don't I feel like in that book of your life, if you want to come to your funeral, that's even written if you're going to show up or not, because that's your choice. If you want to come to see who visits you, if it matters to you, okay.
Maybe that's what my dad did.
So
Yeah, No doubt.
And with that being said, I also feel that once you transition, you can come back as a damn butterfly. All I care, it's your spirit. It's your spirit wherever you want to come back. If you want to come back as a black cat, that's why black cats are very super superstitious. Sorry, I have to throw that out there. But
Okay.
I do
I'm
feel
trying
that
to adopt a black cat.
Oh, we love black cats.
as a matter of fact, I have one. He's asleep. He's just there. But that's the thing about black cats and stuff. I do feel that black cats and owls, well, those are the main two animals that I drawn to. There's others as well, but I do feel that they have familiars, and I do believe that too. Um, but there's just so many things that in this life that we won't see until it's time for us to go.
And just a heads up, I'm drawn to koala bears, not
Are
owls.
you are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
I am drawn to koala bears, not owls. But
Wow. But see, but
it
that's a reason why, because you know why I feel, Denise? That's your totem. That's why.
what the owl,
No, the koala
the
bear is your
koala
Koala
bear,
totem.
bear.
That's one of your totems.
the animal
That's
that
why.
carries chlamydia. Great.
Right.
I thought it was owls.
But I do believe in
Oh,
different things that a lot of people don't believe in. I guess it's just because it wasn't because it was taught to me. It's just my heart tells me that there's certain things that we don't see in that we don't see until it's gone. And I do believe that even with the trees, everything's got energy, everything's got a spirit to it. And I also think that in between the trees there's Native Americans. So whenever you chop the trees down, you're chopping part of the native heritage. But it's just in our nature. We don't think about that because we're just human. We're just thinking, oh, you know what? Let me just cut that tree so I can burn it and make a bonfire. But we don't think what we're doing. We're destroying the earth. That's where our oxygen comes
But the
from.
thing is you have to keep in mind there are wildfires that destroy the earth, but new growth
That's
comes from it. So it's rebirth.
right.
And as long as you're
exactly.
doing it with respect and not just to tear it down, which the hurricane's going to take care of a lot of that. It's going to tear it down just to tear it down. But
Right.
from that is going to become rebirth. And that's what we all need to keep in mind. Even when there's desolation, something will come back and
Yeah,
they'll be better and stronger than it was before.
yeah,
At
that
least
is
that's my
true.
hope.
It's like a season change. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I like this. I'm actually learning from you guys too.
You never thought you were going to be interviewed by smart people, did you?
No, I'm not saying that, but I actually
I'm
do learn
kidding.
a lot. No, but I do feel that, we all learn from each other, and I feel that a lot of things are going to change. And it's funny because I've made a lot of predictions. Like this coming year, I mean, it feels always thin every year, but it seems like it's getting thinner and thinner
Yeah.
and thinner to where there's more activity, more like the dog man. And I've heard about that. Never encountered a dog man, but I've heard of people that have encountered him. Um, what else have they? I can't think of the Wendigo. That's another one. But there's just so many things out there that I feel that they're out there. We just don't know.
Yeah.
As far as
But we
that
do have a
goes,
question before you go
go
much
ahead.
further. Let's get this question answered. What is your opinion about sleep deprivation and seeing spirits?
When you sleep and you're seeing spirits, to me, I just feel because I've never heard I can't even pronounce that word. What does that word mean? Never
Deprivation,
heard.
lack of
Yeah.
sleep.
Oh, okay. That's
Lack of
okay. Now
sleep.
I'm with you. It's lack of sleep. Well, when you get a lack of sleep, I feel like you're more prone to feeling like a zombie. So you're more prone to the paranormal. And I do feel that when you don't get sleep, it is not good for the body. But I think if you're a person that receptive and you can maintain, your health and communicating with them, I think with the spirits, when the way they communicate with you when you can't sleep and the lack of sleep is because they know that you're more open and you're just aware of things. That's the best way to put it. I feel like my thoughts on that is that I've had that happen before to where I've slept and then like I've seen like shadows or stuff like that, or I've even had recently, I forgot to mention that there's a few times where it happened to me and then my fiance and a few others where I'm just laying down, Denise, and there's nobody in here, and all of a sudden I smell perfume, and I'm all like, where the hell is that perfume smell come from? Like, what the hell is that? And then they're like, well, it's probably your mom, but I'm like, my mom hasn't talked to me yet, that I'm aware of. But but there's been a few times where I've smelled perfume within the past few weeks. I've been smelling. That's the only thing that's new that I've experienced recently. The other thing that I've noticed too was that, like my bed, I would sleep and I could swear that freaking bed was moving, and I was like still. I got up and I'm like looking around like this, and I'm like, who's in here? And then I thought, and this was before I had my fiance. I said, whoever's in here trying to get my attention, you got it. But can you please respect my space of where I'm sleeping? Do not touch my bed or whatever you're freaking doing. Don't do that again. But now that, I've had my fiance, my bed doesn't do that anymore. So I don't know if that's maybe something was trying to communicate and now it feels threatened because I'm not single anymore. Um, and prior to that, that's funny because I'm being told to bring this up. Is it possible that whatever was going on with the bed, could that be psychic vampires? Yes. Don't ask me why I brought that up. That was just, we're good. Okay, y'all just, I think spirits are trying to talk to me. That's why. Um, could psychic vampires or other entities do that? Yes. Why do they
Actually,
do it?
another person could do it too.
But could it
Attacking,
be a
doing remote view attacking.
Oh, okay. That
Yep.
makes sense. I didn't
Mm.
think about it. I think it was more of spiritual. I did think it's like to me,
Well, that
I
still
know
would
that I
be
could, yeah,
supernatural kind of thing, but
yeah, yeah. But I've always believed that even with things like that have happened, now you got me thinking that maybe if somebody's astral projecting to me and doing that, that means that somebody's connected to me on some kind of level to where maybe I need to put more boundaries on that because it's happened in the past, but now it's kind of like it doesn't even happen anymore. But yeah.
yeah, one smart cookie, ain't I? You said something about your mom not talking to you yet.
hmm
My mom hasn't talked to me, and it's been almost 7 years since my mom died.
I'm gonna ask you from your perspective. Even though she's been gone for 7 years, do you feel like, and we both can probably see if we're on the same page, if we both say the same thing, is it because we're not supposed to talk to them, or we're just not ready to communicate, or they're just afraid that we're gonna have a reaction and we're just gonna cry because we're gonna hear their voice? Which
My
one do
thought
you think?
is that my sisters need her more than I do, and she knew that I
Oh,
was well adjusted.
My
mm.
thought is your mom knows you never listen to her anyway.
No, I didn't listen to her as a kid, but as an adult, I did. But
That-
yeah, I think that my sisters need her
Probably,
guidance
yeah, that's
more than I
probably more.
do. I'm
so
like I
then
said, I'm
what?
more well adjusted.
So then, what does that pertain to me? Though, is it because I'm still haven't let go of the grief, or is it still too fresh?
I think it's still for you. I think it's still too fresh, or she doesn't have the energy to talk to you yet. That she's trying to get it. You're ready for her, but she may not be ready for you.
Yeah, that makes total sense, and I've thought about that too because everybody has asked me. I've had dreams of your mom. She came to me. She told me this. You need to be careful of this, and you need to do this. The only thing I told you is that before everything happened, that I had that dream. That was the last time she came to me in a dream, and I thought, and then I was thinking about it, and I thought, did I make a mistake by not telling her?
She
And one of
didn't
my
need to
friends
know
told
her
me,
expiration date, though. That's the
yeah,
thing. We cannot
yeah.
tell people what their last day is going to be, because
So
then they'll
maybe I,
stop living.
yeah, maybe I could have had her paranoid. So that is true.
You
Maybe it
did
was
her a
just,
favor not telling her what you saw, because it would have worried her.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because when I had it, it was in December, so she only had like a month, and I didn't know because I
Yeah.
kind of just blew it off like, oh, no, this is not, because in my mind, I can say that as being how we are, we're never ready to lose our loved ones. We're never ready to lose our husband. We're not ready to lose our wife. We're not ready to lose our uncle. I don't care if you're 80 years old. You're never ready to lose anyone at any age. There's no age for you to say, "Oh, I'm ready to lose them," because I know they're getting no, no. I believe that as a human being, outside of my gifts, we're just not ready because we want our loved ones to live forever. But do we live forever? No, no.
Our spirits do, our
But
souls do, but our meat suit does not.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Our outer skeleton doesn't. Yep.
I'm just trying to lighten it up a little.
Well, that
So
does make sense. That does make sense, and I appreciate it because it's kind of sinking in that maybe you're right. She's just not doesn't have the energy, or she just feels like it's gonna hurt me, and it probably will because everything is still fresh.
yes,
Um.
but then she also,
Probably having too much fun watching Elvis.
yeah, she probably likes Elvis a lot.
Well, that's funny because that's she loved Elvis. That's funny you said that. Oh my God, y'all are tapping into my mom.
Well, we had this thing happen. So we have a granddaughter who is 3 years old, and they moved from here to South Carolina, and they have a record player. Okay, we don't have a record player. We don't have any records or anything like that. But she gets up there and she finds out that she knows how to use a record player. She learns how to do it, and all the music that they have is music that my mom would love. It's bluegrass.
That's what she
It's,
listens to.
you know,
Oh my
it's
Elvis.
God.
Elvis and
Elvis Christmas.
yeah, Elvis Christmas is her favorite. But my dad was an Elvis aficionado. He knew everything there was to know about Elvis back in the 70s before he died. Well, I kept telling Ron a long time ago, I said, I'm feeling like Clover is an old soul. I feel like she's my mom reincarnated. And so she's now started to play
Probably why
Johnny
you haven't
Cash
heard from her.
albums. Yeah, because I don't have Clover anymore. But so she would go in there and she would play the Johnny Cash albums and the Elvis albums. And she's like, she's never heard any of this before. And now it's her favorite. So she's,
Wow.
and Leah says she's now pulling out the bluegrass albums. And Leah's going, I can't handle the bluegrass. But my mom loved bluegrass. She would, she would go around to bluegrass festivals all the time. And one of the things that I said while you were gone, you remind me of Rick Wade. Do you know Rick Wade?
Yes.
Okay, Rick Wade's family were bluegrass. They were bluegrass performers.
Oh
My mom
wow.
knew them, and when Rick sent my mom a book that he had signed because my mom knew his family, and
Oh
it,
wow.
so needless to say, we got something going on there. But you remind us of Rick Wade because of how softly you speak,
Yeah,
and
and it's funny because I've talked to him. I don't know if we've ever done a show together, but
he's a good man.
yeah, he's a good person. And I remember when came around, he talked to me and he says, "Chris, can you read me?" And this was like years ago, and I was like, and I don't know what I told him. And then like now I look at him and he has a beautiful journey. He's been helping people too. He's grown a lot. Um, there's just so many people that I don't talk, I guess they don't talk about me or whatever, and it's fine. I don't expect that, 'cause I feel like when I help someone, regardless if they talk to me after that or not, that's fine. as long as I know I've done my purpose to help them, that's all that matters. Regardless if they talk to me or not, that's their choice. Whatever they want to talk to me, I don't see it as a disappointment or they were using me or nothing like that. It's just I've done my purpose, and maybe I wasn't supposed to be a part of their journey afterwards. I look at it things as growth. That whoever
Mhm.
we meet, we cross across them, we help them, and some of them will stay, and then there's some of them that will just wander off and do their own thing, and it's okay because that's how they learn to be independent and on their own.
Right.
You know,
Does that?
it makes total sense. And, you know, I'm friends with a lot of people I don't talk to every day, but I feel like if I see them right, you know, if I see next time I see them, I'm going to feel like I'd been with them the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's not uncommon for us in this age to lose track of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
even
Because
though
we.
we are more connected than we've been before. We're still less connected than we ever were.
Yeah, and that is true. That I can agree with that because it just feels so different because like with everything I've seen, I haven't encountered one yet, but I feel like for some reason, I think the spaceships that have been hiding under the water for decades, as we know, some of you do know, not some of you don't know, but I don't. I do. I think they're gonna come out, um, and they're gonna expose themselves, thinking, okay, if you humans think you're alone, newsflash, you're not alone.
No.
Because I
Yeah.
know that there's some of them that they're under the water and they've been there for years and they monitor us. And you would think, how can a spaceship be under the water with all this metal and all that? But they have higher technology than what we have. But I do feel that be aware that I want to say sometime in, hold on. Okay, that's weird. I was actually getting November, but I'm getting December, like a strong feeling. I do feel that there's going to be more sightings of UFOs in December for whatever reason. I don't know.
Because we're going to be
Um,
imploding.
Oh,
yeah, there are
this
going to be a lot of
December?
them floating. There's a lot of them floating. Bigfoot's been kind of. I've been drawn to him lately, but I feel he's been on the hiding it lately. And even though I haven't gone to investigate him, but he's been hiding for some reason. That's what I'm being told.
Too many cameras in the
Uh,
woods.
yeah, and I do feel that he's on offspring, is what I'm being told, that he will come out when it's winter. So for you ghost hunters that are into Bigfoot, give it a while because he doesn't like too many cameras on him.
It
Because
is a
he's
hide and seek champion.
he's
Bigfoot is.
interdimensional, yeah. And I'd say that during the wintertime, just be on the lookout because he will reveal himself more close up. Not that close, but enough to where you can see his distinctive face. So what I would say is that if you're ready to encounter something and not be terrified, the best thing they're telling me is don't move. Don't move because if you do, that's indication that you're intimidated and you're showing fear. And just like any other animal, like a tiger or a panther or polar bear, like Denise has told him,
Koala.
they can
Killer
sense
koala.
fear. They can sense fear. So just don't show that fear if you encounter him closer than what you can handle. So I do feel a lot of things that have been kind of quiet are going to be exposed within the next 2 months.
Oh, I agree. There's going to be a lot of crap in the next 2 months.
That outside of the government.
Yeah. Yep. Inside and outside. But we're not
Right.
going to get into the government stuff like we did last night.
Oh no.
I st- they didn't take my video down though.
No, they didn't.
We got that in an hour and a half, right, Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel that a lot of good things that, and I'm glad that you guys had invited me to be on the show. And I appreciate it, Denise, as always. Y'all guys have good energy. You're good people. And the thing is that what I would say, and this is probably a big message for the paranormal people and industry, stop competing with each other. Let's
Right.
come united, work together, let that damn ego go, and work together as God would want us to work. Because time is very short here. I do feel that we shouldn't compete with each other, and including the teams out there that need to start working together and stop having this. No, it's going to be about me. Or no, it shouldn't be that way.
No, it
It
shouldn't.
should, but I just feel like that message needs to be spread out with the paranormal industry that people need to work together and stop competing.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't think you have to have paranormal unity, but you at least need to be respectful of each other.
Right.
Exactly, and and I've seen that through what I've seen through a lot of posts. A lot of people are losing respect for each other, and I do feel that everyone is over crossing their boundaries, and they shouldn't do that because that's going to cause conflict and different people and different teams, and people are going to disconnect. People are going to unfriend, and I just feel that is the more that we do that, the more that the paranormal is just going to be there, and we're just not going to acknowledge it because everybody's going to be like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. The hell with him. I don't like him in the paranormal, so I'm not gonna do the paranormal field because I might come across him later, or I'm gonna come across her later. No, it shouldn't be that way. Don't let anyone take your happiness. I don't care what kind of field you're in, and even with my field of psychics, I'm not intimidated by any other psychics. They can do whatever they want. I'm
Mm.
my own person, and that's just how I'm very blunt in that aspect. That I am very blunt when I talk to the world because I want people to know that, hey guys, wake up and smell the coffee. You need to come together and reunite like the way it used to be.
Right.
Really
Do
do.
you go to any Paracons?
That's the thing. I want to go, and I haven't been to a Paracon yet. That's something I want to go to. But the Black Swan that I went just recently, I'm gonna go there. So hopefully there'll be some people that travel from different parts, and I can start meeting other people because I do want to go to Paracons. But this coming year and thinking November, I'm not gonna be available to do any of that. I'm gonna be out of town. But probably, hopefully, maybe in December, or if there's something that comes up from December to next year, I'll see what I can do because I do want to go to meet other people and meet other people that I haven't met that have probably been wanting me to meet me forever. It's just that, like they say, everything takes money, and money is just it's hard, and it's gonna get harder. Speaking of
Oh,
that,
yes, we agree. You've got
because I
some
travel.
really good paracons there in Texas.
Oh yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
Kling brothers have one that's going to be going on there. Forget exactly where, but oh, Brittany says, sad to say, not everybody is going to work together. Everybody should, but not everybody isn't
Yeah,
going to like each other. We know that.
and
We
it's
should, if
true
everybody
because
liked everybody, this world will be a better place. You don't even have to like everybody. You just have to be respectful.
yeah, either that or tolerate them. One of the two.
Well, respect sometimes equals toleration.
Yeah,
It's just the way. I
yeah,
mean, I do a lot of stuff for a lot of different things, and you know, when we were doing tours at the Sally House, we had a lot of people come in there
Yeah.
that didn't agree with what we were doing. We didn't agree with what they were doing, but you know what? We still got along. We still
Oh yeah.
respected them, and they still respected us.
yeah,
So
but
respect
not all the
goes
time.
a
Yeah, but
really
not all the
long
time.
ways.
Yeah, not all the time are you gonna find that kind, with that kind of people. I mean, that's good that you came across people like that, but not everyone, will be as nice as those other people. And that's good that you had people that, that you try working with and you try getting along, but not
Good
everyone's
night,
gonna be,
Gary.
Okay, Gary.
Well,
so
you know, again, like you said, there's good people and there's bad people. It doesn't matter what profession.
Yeah.
So
Right. And you
we
go
just
to a
have to know.
Paracon, you get to meet a lot of people in the field and not in the field. And
Yeah.
that's where a lot of friendships start at.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, Carl. And that's right. That is the way it should be. And to me, being an empath, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I haven't met a lot of people, but on an empathic level, it hurts me because there's so much war going on, and life is just passing us by. And being an empath, me taking in all of the feelings from other people that I don't talk to or people I don't know, I feel y'all's pain, and it's just sad that we cannot come together. And that, as being an empath, I take in, and I shouldn't because that's not my problem. But being human, I have feelings, and I can feel other people's feelings, and I might not get into people's business, but I can feel y'all's pain. And just me being way over here and you guys being on the other side of the world, don't think just because y'all don't know me, I don't feel your pain. I do, but I just don't expose it.
Yeah.
I'll keep my mouth shut and not say anything, but I'll just say, you know what? I disagree with this, I disagree with that. But who am I? I'm just one person. People ain't gonna listen to me. But that's just on an empathic level that it hurts because I feel it.
Hmm.
I feel it more than ever. And then with all this stuff going on, we don't know what, how next year is going to be, but a lot of made predictions
Yeah.
and a lot of the predictions, some of it came to pass. Some of them, like with Carolina, I feel for the people in Carolina. My
Mm.
prayers go out to them. Um, but I do feel that some states are going to be over flooded. People are going to die. The population's getting smaller. Um, I've even said before in the years past that California is going to be over water. It's almost like the day after tomorrow. I think some of that in that movie,
Yeah.
it's happening. It's just people don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. It's probably not as extreme as what they made it in the movie anyway. So
Yeah, some of
you
it,
did
some of
think,
it. Yeah,
yeah, you said something about being an empath. How do you feel about going to Walmart? Do you feel
yeah.
that that's the worst place to go as a psychic?
Honestly, yes. To some point, yes. Because you feel so much emotions. You pick up things from other people. You get like impressions from other people, and they might not even know who you are. But you know, Walmart is one of the most places where people shop on a daily. But you're right. I do think me going to Walmart, if I had the choice to go and get my stuff, I would just go, pay it, get out. Because I just don't want to deal with it. Because there's so much stuff that I feel from negative people. I can see people arguing down the shopping cart, and I'm just like, and then people going through with the toilet paper again, which is
Yeah.
it's sad.
That was because they thought that our toilet paper and paper towels were made outside the country, and they're made here. I mean, we
That was
see
dumb.
we see the trees being, we live in an area, there's paper plant up the road. So we see the trees going by all the time that they're taken up there to make toilet paper and office supplies and all this other crap. We see it, so we know. But yet here, where everybody knows it, they still bought out all the toilet paper and the paper towels. And I'm like, this is
Mm,
stupid.
I
So
know,
we
and
didn't we didn't buy
a
any. We
lot
didn't
of that
care.
stuff. It's crazy because I look at it and I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? You can get the toilet paper at Walmart. You can get it at the Dollar General. It's not with the imports where all this higher stuff that you can't get from other countries. But the toilet paper and all that, I just said to myself, here we go again with this crap. And I thought, this is pathetic, sad stuff that people are
Yeah,
doing. But I
I
guess,
we just did this.
Mm.
So here's a funny story. We were in Walmart and we were walking down the aisle and I was getting something and I heard this guy, he's on his phone, he's talking to his wife, and she says, "Get 2 toilet papers." And he goes, "I'm gonna look like an asshole." That's what he said. He said,
are
"You're
you serious?
And so I'm walking by and I go, I heard she said you were an asshole. And he started laughing and his wife started laughing. She goes,
There wasn't 2 to get, was there?
there was 2 to get at that point.
Wow.
But still, he's making a point to her that he feels like an asshole buying all this stuff that he doesn't feel that he needs, but she feels that they need. But
Right.
you know, we ran across this guy later and he just looked at me and he just shook his head.
Yeah,
So,
and it's so crazy. And you know what's funny too? And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you guys have done it. You know how they have talked about the power grid?
Yeah.
A lot of people have said this on TikTok. Facebook doesn't talk about it. Um, I've got like 2 solar things. I don't have it right here in front of me, but I got the solar radio.
yeah.
I got the solar bank. It's where it's solar.
Yeah.
People have gotten solar. Even my fiance just got one the other day. She goes, I'm not taking no chances because if we have no power,
Yeah.
oh hell no, we because you just never know.
You
But
don't. I mean, we
yeah,
didn't expect it when we were in South Carolina. We were in a pretty good sized city in a hotel. We
yeah,
didn't think anything about that we would lose power in the hotel. We thought maybe they'd have a generator
thought
or
we could.
whatever.
Yeah, I figured they'd
But,
have a Gen X or something there.
but again, they don't
A lot of
because
them
they
did.
never have lost power there before for any reason. So, and here we are, we're 400 miles from the coast where this storm is coming in.
Total panic.
Yeah, it was total panic there. We were fine. I mean, we've been through ice storms and all kinds of other crap. We were fine. But it's hard when you're in a town you don't know and you're trying to
yeah,
figure it out. But that
yeah.
was the hard part. But you know what? We are at the end of our time. So where can everybody find you, Chris?
Well, they can reach me on Facebook if y'all send me a friend request, or you can reach me at 210-974-3470. Again, 210-974-3470. Or you can email me at Garcia187bluelove@gmail.com. You can also find me on TikTok because I do a lot of readings there. Psychic28. Like I said, Psychic28 on TikTok. And for Denise and Ron and Carl, thank you for having me on. Jeremy,
No
whoever's
problem.
watching me in the background,
Thank
love you
you, Chris.
guys. And if y'all ever want me back or if you ever need someone to come on, because I feel in a lot of times when people back down. So just keep me in mind.
Will
If
do.
y'all
Thank
ever
you so
need me.
much.
Oh, we'll have you
Yeah.
back.
So we'll keep you in mind and God bless you and I hope you enjoy your journey and take care, everybody. Be safe.
Well, thank you. You have a great night. And I hope
Yes.
everybody will join us every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Central for Paranormal Nation Radio Not So Normal. We will surprise you with whatever guest we find for next week. I guarantee it'll be somebody that you love, you hate, or at least you'll enjoy. And then on Monday, please join me on the Paranormal Pride. My guest will be Cheryl Ann Elliott Fletcher. This will be at 7 p.m. Central on Monday. So you can listen to us in all of these places that Carl's going to tell you.
Right. You can find us on the Billerites Network all the time. You can find us on Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment Facebook page, Things Network Facebook page, which we are, both of us are on part of Things Network now and everything. You can find us on Born TV on Rumble. So you can find us wherever you're watching at every Monday night and Tuesday night for sure. But check out the Billerites Network. There's a list of all our shows that are on the network. So check it all out.
Well, thank you guys and have a great night. I'd like to thank you listeners for always showing up and always being there. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Right.
Have a good night.
Everybody have a good night.
Good night, everyone.